Hey, I'm Siobhan, and I love talking about all the things related to freedom and personal growth. And I'm on a journey to redefine freedom on my own terms as I become the woman I desire to be. Each week, I'll share in real time what I'm learning as I do my inner work while creating a safe space for my listeners to feel seen. If you desire to be free and live a life that feels good to you, then you're in the right place for beautiful conversations that's going to support you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to the Siobhan J. Middleton podcast. Now let's start the show. Hey, welcome back to another episode of my podcast. I am so happy that you are here again for another week where I share my life in real time to inspire you to live life on your own terms. And today I want to talk about, when did your light go out? We're all born, for the most part, I would say, but we're all born like happy babies, joyful, curious. We have wonder in our eyes. We have just a bubbly, natural spirit, right? And then at some point throughout childhood, sometimes adulthood, but a lot of times during childhood, we lose a little bit of our light. And we get into relationships. We have some traumatic experiences. We experience pain. And over time, our light keeps getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. And the thing is, some of us may not even notice it because we begin to get used to the dullness in our eyes, right? I know for me, my light started getting dim, I would say, in my childhood. I've shared on the podcast many times that I have or had an unhealthy relationship with my mother. And then the absence of my father, meaning I didn't get the love and support and affection that I needed as a child. And then I would choose people to be in my life that mirrored the relationships that I had, or the lack thereof, with my parents. I've had friendships and relationships where my light would get a little bit dim, a little bit dim, and a little bit dim. And I really didn't know until I got out of my marriage how dim my light was. So recently I was at this art fundraiser event with my daughter, and I was having a conversation with her art teacher. And we have talked many times over the last couple of years because my daughter has been in her AP Honors art class. And she's seen me at some very low moments, like maybe when I was dropping my daughter off from school or picking her up. And she was just a listening ear when I was having really hard days. And so when I seen her last weekend, she was like, "You look so happy." And she was looking at me like marveling and like in awe. And she kept saying, "You look so happy." And I was like, "I am happy. I'm really happy now." And she was like, "You look like you're 10 years younger." And I was just blushing, and then my daughter started agreeing with her, but she was just looking at me like, "You look so much happier." And so I was texting my friend, and I was telling her about this conversation, and her exact words were, "You really do look younger. Your eyes aren't holding stress or anxiety anymore, and they are bright and they're filled with so much light." I thought my light was bright, like I really thought like I was out here shining. But when I go back and I look at photos of myself, or I look at my Instagram page and I kind of go back to how I look pre-divorce. And when I tell you, and y'all that have been following me for a while, I look and feel completely different. Like I look like a new woman. Granted, my hair is different. I've lost weight, things like that. But even if you look in my eyes, I do not look like the same person. And I am more like myself now than I've ever been. And I've shared on here before how I get complimented all the time about my light and my glow up and my energy. And, friends and family will compliment me, and then strangers smile at me and wave and speak when I'm out and about, and I know it's the glow. And again, when you're in unhealthy relationships or friendships, any type of environment that is dimming your light, more often than not, you don't even know, right? And if you were to look at yourself in the mirror, like I would do all the time, you would think, hey, I look just fine. But get out of that relationship, get out of that friendship that is unhealthy for you, and then look at how you look versus how you look now, and you will start to see the light come back in your eyes. And so this is what I advise people who read my book, I Don't Want to Be Married Anymore, Find the Courage and Where to Start. I talk about in the book, I want you to document your journey. And this is whether you're getting a divorce, you're getting out of a relationship, you're relocating, whatever major transition that you're making in your life, document the process. Take pictures, journal, take videos, because I want you to be able to compare your journey so that you can see it for yourself. Because I'll be honest, if I didn't, and this is something that I did. I took a lot of pictures, a lot of video. I journaled a lot, so I am able to compare, where I was and where I'm at now. But had I not done that, I wouldn't even believe it myself. Like, it's hard when you don't have a visual representation of who you used to be able to compare it. For whatever journey that you're on in your life, I highly recommend that you capture the moment. And you don't have to share it with anyone, but just having the pictures and the video, the voice notes, having it in your phone, I want you to be able to have that so you can see how far you've grown as you continue on your journey year after year. Some of the things that I was thinking about when it came to what dims your light, And these are some of the things that came top of mind. Your light will start to go dim when you are in environments or surrounded by people that want to dim your light. Whether it's a conscious choice or not, when you are not around people where you feel safe, where you have to perform, where you have to wear a mask, your light is going out, right? When you have unprocessed and unhealed trauma and pain, your light will dim. If you don't know yourself or there's a lack of self-love, your light cannot shine bright because you're not being your full, authentic self. And this is the one, and I know this to be true because, if you're not living a life that's not your own, how else are you going to be able to shine bright? I have been living a life for a very long time that wasn't my own. It was what society said I should want, And it wasn't until I got a divorce and I started living on my own and redefining what freedom means to me and figuring this life out and loving myself and liking myself in a deeper way that now, yes, you are experiencing my glow. You are experiencing my light and you feel the energy that is so positive because now I'm not surrounded by anyone that is unhealthy for me. I don't have any negative energy around me. Like everything that I'm doing is I'm taking really, really good care of myself. I want you to do a friendship audit. And I created a resource, and you can find the link in the show notes that you can download it. And there's very specific questions that I want you to answer to begin to do an audit and take inventory on your friendships. And then you can also apply these questions to romantic relationships or partnerships or what have you. But I want you to take an audit because you want to begin to look at the people that are in your life that you're spending the most time with and paying attention. Are they causing your light to go dim? And once you have that information, then you can move accordingly. But if you are living in denial, if you're avoiding what you know is there, then you won't be able to live the life that you desire, right? And one of the things that I want for everyone listening to my podcast week after week is I want you to be free. I want you to live the life that you want on your own terms. But you can't do that if your light is not shining bright, if you're not living the life that you want, if you are surrounded by negative energy and people who don't feel good to your nervous system. And you know what that feels like. You know when something feels off, but you tend to ignore it because you're trying to make other people comfortable or you're used to people pleasing. And I talk about this all the time. And I will live by this quote that I read in the book Untamed. I will not disappoint myself ever again. Like I would disappoint everybody else before I disappoint myself. And I want you to have that same energy. After my daughter's art teacher, kept expressing how happy I looked and how I looked so much younger, and then my friend validated what she said, I was like, oh man, I'm sure there's other people out here whose light is not shining as bright as they think that it is, and it's because they don't even know. And so I just want you to take inventory, take an audit on your life, and make sure you're surrounded by beautiful, good energy. So I need your help. I need you to take a survey for me because I really want to get to know my community and my audience and my listeners a little bit better. So it's a quick 4-question survey. You will find the link to the survey as well as the friendship audit, as well as a link to my book. You will find all of that in the show notes. But just to focus on the survey, again, I'm really just trying to get to know you a little bit better and understand where you're at in your life. And so the survey, you can find that link in the show notes. And then everyone that completes the survey, you will be invited to do a free workshop with me that's happening next month in August. So as always, thank you so much for listening. I would love for you to share this episode with a friend. You can share it on social media, wherever you share, your things. You can text the link to a friend and say, hey, listen to this and let's have a conversation about it later. I would love if this episode inspired you in any kind of way. You could treat me to a cup of coffee or 2 or 3 or 4. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Subscribe to my newsletter. That link is in the show notes as well. And I got so much beautiful feedback about the episode that I did with my daughter last week. So please, if you haven't yet, go take a listen to that episode. It was so rich and so good. Lastly, I wanted to share with y'all, I am having a ball over on TikTok. I feel like I have found my groove. So if you're on TikTok, please come over and follow me. My handle is in the show notes. It's at Siobhan J. Middleton, but you'll find that in the show notes. I share several videos every day and I'm having so much fun. So come hang out with me there. Sending you so much love and light. Until next time.